Good evening, everybody. Welcome to KMS Star Wars, Episode 7. We got a great show planned for you tonight. We'll start off with viewer Q&A, as we always do, answering the hard-hitting questions from our real viewers. And then we have a special episode planned for you tonight, something new we've never done before, probably nothing you've ever seen before. We will be simulating a Star Wars battle on a fictional AI-generated planet. It's groundbreaking stuff you've never seen before. Definitely stick around and watch that. But we'll start off with our viewer Q&A. Okay, time for our viewer submitted questions. There has been rampant speculation on Reddit about your secret identity. Care to comment? Well, I will comment, but this is really just much ado about nothing. I do not have a secret identity. This is a Star Wars show, so I'm dressed like Kylo Ren. It's not that complicated. Yes, I've read all the threads. I'm not Jeff D. Lowe. I'm not Boner Salad. I know most of you think I'm Kirk, but it's not. I'm just, I'm a Minifan, likes the show, likes Star Wars, happens to own a Kylo Ren mask, and a green sheet. That's it. No conspiracies. Next up, who fucked up the interview last week? Fucked up the interview? Phasm, what's he talking? Oh, yes. Yeah, there was some minor glitches with the audio and video. If you weren't completely paying attention to the minutest detail, you probably didn't even notice. But there was a bit of an AV problem. And we did actually, obviously have a after action review. Whole production team got together, determined, what happened when, why there was that very minor problem, and we came to definitive proof that all fault was on Justin's side of the tech on his screen. So, yep, our end was flawless. What did you think about Gus's foul on Rico? Oh, okay, interesting. Just getting some straight KMS stuff. I like it. Yeah, so I had pretty much the same reaction everybody did at first. But at very first, you're like, oh, Rico's overreacting. But then we saw the replay, saw it in slow mo many times, and clearly Gus fouled him hard, and in not a way you should be fouling in basketball. I mean, a defender has no business defending under the hoop. I mean, there's no purpose to be there unless someone's dribbling through the, under it through the lane or doing a reverse layup. But you just don't play defense in that spot. It's completely useless and dangerous. But now that Gus took a lot of heat, and then Rico goes on and is basically being a little apology policing little bitch. So after the way he's acting, I think I'm with a lot of people who are saying that Gus should have fouled him harder. Maybe sort of rolled on his ankle when he was on the ground, because it's not about the basketball at this point. It's about who's the bigger bitch, and Rico is being the biggest bitch of them all. Okay, I think that's all the questions. All right, I'm very excited for this new type of segment we're doing. We have a AI generated Star Wars type planet that Captain Phasma and the rest of the team put together using some very high tech software. So, and then we're going to simulate a battle. So, like, how would Star Wars, army attack and take over this planet? So let's flip over the screen. We'll show the planet. This planet is called JT6. And you notice we've circled and highlighted different parts of the planet here on the screen. I will flip back and put up on the board here, and I'll review the layout of the planet and what they've got for us. So you see this big thing down here, this like red forest, that's known as Pube Forest. There's lots of enemy activity going on in there, sort of rebels hiding in the forest, setting up little bases. Then we have the a little bit higher, the Cave of Despair. That's where like these big creatures are hiding out, like lots of caves and mostly creatures are in there, because just everything in the world sort of flies. Also, organic material is attracted in there. So it just, all sorts of giant, disgusting things fly or crawl in there, and then waste is also leaked from that type. Okay, and then if we move a little bit up, we have these blue areas. These are the communication centers. That's where they receive signals and send signals. So that's obviously going to be a very important thing we're going to want to take down. Our intel does show that it's not very good at picking up signals. You have to be like within like 2 feet for it to pick up the signal from ships and stuff. So that's good for us. And then finally, we have up on the top we have the volcano minefield. So this is like a sort of a barren type wasteland, but with lots of volcanic activity. It's spewing lava and all sorts of stuff. So that's very dangerous spot. Um, yeah, so now we're going to break down each thing and we're going to say how we would use Star Wars troops or vehicles or whatever to try to attack and take over this planet. So let's get started right away. We'll go and start with the attacking the Pube Forest first. So we're going to start by attacking the Pube Forest. Now, I know you're thinking, why don't you attack the comm center first? Well, as I said, our intel shows, unless you're within, 10 feet, maybe even 10 inches of this thing, the satellite dishes aren't going to pick you up. So we'll still, if we went there first, they would know we're here. So we're going to start down the Pube Forest. Now, very thick forest, lots of rebels hiding in it. It's a lot like the moon of Endor, which we saw in Star Wars Return of the Jedi. So what was effective there? It was Ewoks, Wookiees were battling AT walkers mostly. And the AT walkers those Scout walkers seemed like they were up for the job, but the Wookiees and Ewok, or the Wookiee and Ewoks and the rebels, really took them down. It was quite an exciting battle. So how would I do this in this situation? So I would send in AT-AT walkers, but I'd arm them with Wookiees and Ewoks. So a Wookiee and Ewok army driving AT-AT walkers. It really seems like a foolproof plan. They'll be able to sweep through, and the idea is to force everybody. We'll start from the south over here. I'm not very good with this. I'm not a good weather person. I think my screen is flipped. But we want to push everybody north. So we start at the southern part, push in with the Ewoks and the Wookiees, and just push everybody north out of the forest towards the Cave of Despair. Now, as we're doing that, this is when I would recommend that we take out the comm center. As I said, we don't have to do too much. It's not very functional or active, but it would be good to get it out. So I'm thinking we send in some droids to do it. Battle droids, mostly. Remember in episode 2, they have those big transport ships that have like the droids set up in like a racks. I say you just go in there, unload a couple racks of droids. Doesn't matter how many get taken out, it's just battle droids. But just swarm that comm center. It shouldn't take very long to cut off the transmissions, so they won't be able to call for backups. So, and just like that, we've got the comm center down, and all the rebels have been forced out of the forest. So now what do? Let's focus on the Cave of Despair. We've got the rebel army sort of out of the forest. I want to keep pushing them towards the cave, and then from the east and the west, I would send in a new army, probably squadrons of clone troopers. A couple. Maybe the 501st, maybe Anakin's, and I'd send in a Jedi leading them. Get a Jedi general, and then a couple clone captains on each side, and then we squeeze in from both sides. The idea is to force the rebels into the cave. So we've got them. They don't have to go too deep. Just get them in there. They're trying to take cover, trying to make one last stand, and then once we've got them surrounded, we're going to send in the bombers. So like some Y-wing bombers, or maybe those bombers from the last Jedi. Remember the ones that Poe sent through and got everybody killed, and the one person was able to let off one bomb or one rack of bombs. So we just send it over there, swarm after swarm, just bomb that whole cave area, destroy all the creatures, all the nonsense that flies out of there all the time. And this will, trap everything that's in there, and it will prevent new enemies from getting in there. Should just wipe out the whole cave system. And we've got the whole southern territory taken over. Um, so that leaves us just with the volcano minefield up in the north. All right, so now we're just left with the volcano minefield up here. There's not a lot of troops up there. That's sort of their command center, their HQ. They've got it sort of hidden in between the volcano minefields. So it's gonna be a tough strategic battle. I'm sending in X-wings here, and other mostly X-wings. Get some Jedi's in there flying. This place is a lot like Mustafar with sort of rivers of lava. We're not going to try to take out the volcanoes. They are, way too strong and established and spewing such hot lava. There's no way to stop these or prevent new ones from forming. They're very scary. Nobody wants to get near those things or even look at them. Very, very, very frightening and frankly disgusting. So I'm sending the X-wings in. I want Jedi's flying these if possible, or just great pilots. Anakin types, Poe types, maybe Hera could fly one. She's never really an X-wing pilot, but maybe she could fly the Ghost through there. And they've got to fly in. That's why I want some Jedi's in there, sort of find, use the Force to find where the HQ is, and then just drop them off and have that final battle. Maybe send in a Millennium Falcon in there to hit the right shot. I do expect them to they have probably some TIE fighters or other air-to-air combat be released at this point. Not too worried about it. I think our pilots can take care of it. So then we just go into the HQ, find the leader, pull them out, and then throw them into one of the volcanoes. I think makes the most sense to me. And then that's basically our battle. We'll just summarize that here real quick and go to the other screen, put it on the other screen here so we can enlarge the map. All right, so there's that map again. So remember, we attacked the Pube Forest with the Ewok and Wookiee army on walkers. And then when we were forcing them out, we took out the comm center with droid armies, and then used the clone troopers and those Ewoks and Wookiees to force everybody into the Cave of Despair, in which we bombed it with Y-wings. And then we took out the HQ with X-wings, and of course dropped their leader into an active volcano. Okay. Well, I hope everybody had fun watching that great battle. Anybody has any other alternative ideas we could have approached that? Please let me know. The producer room did want to just Death Star the whole planet. Seemed like it was not worth the resources. Death Star takes a lot of energy. You're burning a lot of kyber crystals just to get off one shot. Felt like this army on this planet just wasn't intelligent enough to require that. We knew the fight was going to be pretty easy, so we're not going to Death Star that planet just because it makes it easier. It's not worth the resources. So, well, again, hope everybody had fun watching this. We'll come up with something new and unique for next week as well. See you next time.